Hi, welcome. My name's Claire Leslie, and I'm going to take you through the presentation for Serras Barcelona. Next big screen. So, Serras Barcelona. Plenty of reasons to go to Barcelona at the moment, especially with the October half term coming up and autumn city breaks on the horizon. The Serras is a fantastic property if you don't already know it. It was opened 7 or 8 years ago and has this terrific location right on the front in overlooking the marina. As you can see on this shot here, you can see the W in the distance. And to your left is El Born and Barceloneta. And it's just in front of the Gothic quarter. So actually it's a very short walk from here up to the shopping area. And then up into Plaza Catalunya and all of the other sites and tours up there. On a map, you can see just down there, middle of the page, it's directly located. To the right is Soho House, actually, if anybody knows that property. The Mercer is one of its comp set hotels as well, but it's beautifully positioned for a walk into El Born for all the food and the restaurants, up to the zoo. Around to the Picasso Museum, which of course is of particular interest for this property, and an easy short walk up to the La Boqueria, the big market, where actually this hotel offers cooking classes as well, in case your clients are interested. So it's a cracking new property for the small luxury hotel scene in Barcelona. It's won a raft of awards, including Condé Nast Traveler's Best Urban Hotel in Spain this year. So very highly regarded by plenty of the big players. And that Picasso connection I mentioned earlier is because Picasso started his career actually on the very top of the building that Serras now accommodates. So he had his first studio up on that top floor. His father was actually an art teacher. And it was here that he painted the enormous piece, if you've ever seen it in the museum, called Science and Charity, which is rather an austere painting, but a very accomplished one, certainly for somebody who was only 15 at that time. So of course, the city has quite a lot of connections with Picasso. There's a package that we've made actually with Serras, which includes tickets through to the museum. You can even add on a guided tour with a specialist who knows the location and can show you places like where his first exhibition was, just around the corner from Serras in the Four Cats. So plenty of interest going on there. Rooms and suites. There are 28 rooms and suites, which makes this a very nice sized property. As you can see from the picture, it's very much like a townhouse or a friend's apartment, a small apartment block. So it's the sort of place that people choose to stay in when they don't want to be in one of the big brand hotels. There are 8 junior suites. There's also 2 very large suites that take up to 100 square meters, the Mediterranean and the Grand Suite Mediterranean. So if you've got family traveling, multiple groups, or just big spenders, that quite often what we find with this hotel, that Mandarin Oriental guests have chosen to move away from that building or that hotel for whatever reason, probably because you're visiting Barcelona so many times, you're looking for change. Then they will take the 2 big suites at Serras and then make the most of the fantastic customer service that exists here. Just a note on soundproofing, because the property is on Paseo de Colom, it is a very busy road, but these windows you can all see at the front and down the side have double glazing, which opens internally, and then a space, and then separate double glazing, which opens out onto the balcony. So when I stayed there last week, I shut both sets of doors. I couldn't hear a sound. So it is a very, very quiet bedroom. Naturally, there's air conditioning to make sure it's temperature controlled. So a quick look in detail. These are the Superior and the Grand Deluxe, very contemporary style. What I noticed when I visited last week was in the comp set, you have properties like the Monument and the Mercer and the Majestic, as well as the Mandarin Oriental, but that obviously has a few more bedrooms. None of them have got quite such a fun, bright, vibrant interior design. So for any of your clients that are really into that, this could be a good choice for them. These rooms go from, well, depending on the season, of course, but in the region of 360 euros up to 420 euros. And all the prices I'm quoting today are bed and breakfast rates, but you can book them without breakfast as well. Here we go up to the junior suites, a little bit larger in size. They have views over towards the marina and to the city. There are some connecting options here in this category. And I should mention that the amenities in the rooms are all by diptyque, unless you get to the grand suite when you have a choice between diptyque or Aqua de Palma, which is a very nice luxury touch to offer your clients. So in this room category, junior suites are 615 up to 735 B&B per night. So here you've got the very big suites I was talking about before, and typically Antonio and Ona, the existing general manager and the previous general manager who's now moved up to managing director, who will now be managing the rollout of this brand into other cities in Spain and into Andorra. The two general managers of this property have always made sure that the service and the amenities and the room are of a very high 5-star deluxe standard. So Ona, who is the current general manager, who's a lady, used to work at the Mandarin Oriental in London. And I said to her when I was there that the feeling of the service I got was just like a Mandarin stay or a Four Seasons stay. The guest service people on the desk, the welcome in reception, the restaurant team, the housekeeping team, they all strive to really go the extra mile. And it's a very noticeable, proactive style of service. If you couple that with all the small touches they have, which really punch above their weight as a small individual boutique hotel, and by that I mean things like straightening irons in the rooms, welcome card and food plate for all guests, and the option to make that a VIP one with a bottle of cava, depending on whether they're suites or long stays. Things like little bottle stoppers to keep your cava fresh if you don't drink it all in one go. There's a mobile phone in every single bedroom, which can be used anywhere in the city and for any international dial phone calls as well. Really, really smart touches that go across the whole property, which just mean you've got a lot of bang for your buck when you're staying at the Serras. So these two suites go for 1,305 euros a night, or the large one with the 2 bedrooms added, and you can see the separate living room there on the left, is 1,665 per night. So a huge amount of space for your money, particularly if you are normally pitching to a Mandarin type customer, given that their suites are selling for a lot more than that. Now, Barcelona is all about rooftop bars. Almost every hotel's got one, and the Serras is no different. What makes this better is that it overlooks the marina. So instead of just looking down the Plaza Catalunya or down a busy road, you've actually got these wide open views, plenty of blue sky, and then a gorgeous vista of the boats coming into the harbour. At present, the restaurant has actually moved up here permanently. So it's always been a restaurant, as well as on the left-hand side, you can see the sunbathing area and a plunge pool. But what they've done during COVID is make sure that there's space for people to eat in an outdoor environment, which is much healthier during COVID times. So you can see here, this is the informal restaurant, which is, the informal is the name of the restaurant. It's overseen by Michelin star chef Marc Gascon, who's also based in Girona with his own Michelin star restaurant. And he is fantastic. He is doing exactly what this hotel, or many hotels, should be doing in Barcelona, which is the best of Catalan food, but with that refined Michelin style. So I ate beautifully here, fresh turbot from the market, fresh lobster, beautiful beef, beautiful fish. Really can't recommend it enough. Of course, if clients are coming to stay and they don't want to eat outside, then the option is there for them to take their meal downstairs on the ground floor in informal, where it normally would be. So that is something that the hotel is happy to organise for anybody. And you can see here, this is set up in a restaurant, has a fantastic breakfast buffet if people are taking that as an option, and is a very nice space. So I mentioned before that you can book room only or bed and breakfast. Of course, there's a best available rate available. But what I think is really fun, particularly if you've got clients who are returning to Barcelona for the first time in a while, or it might even be their first visit, is to offer them the Be a Foodie package, which includes the restaurant. And what the concierge team and the front office staff will do for them is also point out on a map and make reservations for them should they wish to have reservations at all the local restaurants. So of course you've got a fantastic mix in Elborn, you've got plenty in the Gothic Quarter, and then up to Plaza Catalunya as well. Lots of amazing restaurants nearby, and they will all be booked for you if you wish. Then of course there's golf nearby, there's a lot of golf in Catalonia, so that's a package available there. And then the one that I think is really quite special, which is the Picasso Serras package. So that includes that tour guide, tickets to the museum, and much more. Why go now? The weather is still very warm in October. It drops a little bit down in November, and of course a little bit down again in December. But there's far fewer tourists in Barcelona at this time of year, which makes it a really good choice. There's a jazz festival going on next month. You can always get into Camp Nou for a behind-the-scenes tour and to see all the original trophies. We're getting a lot of inquiries actually for pre and post cruise, because of course all the major suppliers are going out of the port in Barcelona. There's fun stuff that the hotel can arrange, like a paella cooking course in the Boqueria, which is the covered food market, or make the most of the Catalan food and try eating your way around the area. Plus, this property is really well located for both of the famous theatres, the Gran Teatre de Lisieux, which is the opera house on La Rambla, or the Palau de la Música, which is the more traditional venue for flamenco and ballet. And there's a really nice itinerary of dances and operas coming up for the next 3 months. I mentioned Girona earlier because that's where the chef has his own Michelin star restaurant. It's also a really nice twin centre with Barcelona. If somebody's been to Barcelona before and feels like, well, why would I go again? That's quite a nice thing to do, like either connecting by car or by train to then go and see the medieval town there. As I said at the top of the presentation, the Serras won the Condé Nast Traveller Best Urban Hotel in Spain award. They also have won a whole raft of other awards. So it's one of those hotels you can really sell with confidence because so many people have given it a real stamp of authority. So that's it. That's a lovely shot of the rooftop terrace there. Aside from which, I'd just like to mention that they are planning an expansion and we should have news by November, December that the hotel in Andorra will open. So if you've got clients that are interested in skiing, let me know and I'll keep you on the mailing list for news of Serras. So thank you very much. If you are interested in rates or packages, let me know or have a look on their website. And if you are if you have any inquiries or you've got any further information you'd like me to explain, just shoot me an email or give me a ring and hopefully we'll get some client bookings into Serras this season. All right, thank you very much.